So we're talking about the feedback loop. So when you're talking to somebody one-to-one or even on a phone, but specifically face-to-face, you get all sorts of signals from them, verbal and non-verbal, which show you how your message is being received. And if you are listening to somebody, you give those kinds of messages too. And when you're speaking, you send those messages to other people. You kind of build those kind of things into your conversation or into your body language. We discussed it in some depth a couple of episodes ago. But when we're in a studio, we don't have that verbal and non-verbal feedback loop because we can't see the audience. Okay, there may be a producer, there may be a sound engineer or something like that, but most of the audience is unseen. We can't see their nods of agreement or hear their of understanding. And so it's tricky for us to adjust our mode of delivery and tricky for us, therefore, to sound natural. What we need to do is create a construct, a conversationality, while reading a written text out loud. You know what it's like when you're talking to someone at a barbecue or a business gathering? They're looking over your shoulder, distracted by someone else they'd rather be talking to. We've all been there. What you're saying kind of just peters out. Perhaps you've been in a situation with your kids or partner. You're talking and feel as though they're not actively listening. And if that feedback loop exists at all, maybe it's just, yeah, I see, right, yeah. And you'd think you're talking and they're listening, but I'm not sure it's actually going in. They're not hearing. You may even have tried to test your hypothesis that they're not actually listening properly by saying something totally outrageous to check that the loop isn't entirely broken and just see what their response is. Yeah, and then I thought I'd run stark naked through the church ladies' reading circle. And they're going, I see, yeah. You're trying to jolt them into attention and an authentic reaction. Let's summarise. When you're talking to someone in front of you, you see their reaction. They lean in to show their interest. They look away. They're distracted by something else. They nod in agreement. The relationship is two-sided and reciprocal. And that leads you as the message deliverer to change your style to further engage them. But you don't experience this in a studio environment. And that's why it's tricky. And we'll look at the tricks to overcome this trickiness over the next short while as Get a Better Broadcast Podcast and Video Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.